Okay guys, well I've been putting it off, but I've made an executive decision about what colour I was going to paint the interior. So I wanted it to be silver and I wanted it to be the same as the original colour. And obviously the only way I could do it, because nobody knows the actual colour code, was to colour match. Now the problem with that is you have to go to a specialist or a crash repair, and then one that can actually put it into cans when you have to do this job. And considering my car isn't registered yet and I'm bound basically by foot, I can only get down to my local car store, which is about a 10-minute walk. So what I've decided is I'm going to use silver on the outside of the car. That's the same model year as mine, so the 2013 silver, which is the code GTS 6, I think, which is a sterling metallic silver, and that way it's going to always match. It's from the same color, from the same year, and that way it'll be uniform wherever I go, because colouring matching from somewhere else, maybe the paint gets faded and then I can't guarantee it'll be the same colour then on. Not that I'm painting much and it's all going to be uniform and nobody's probably going to tell but me, but it's just easier for me to facilitate. So this is the colour here. Now this is the Australian code, so metallic sterling silver, which is from 2012 onwards, which is 160338. I've also put some sticky tape over to cover that. I've also got it on the receipt just in case I need it on file. Now you have to be careful too, because there's actually 3 different sterling metallic silvers. There's 2 from 2011 which are a lighter shade, and then this one. So I went with this one obviously because it's a bit darker and it seemed to be the closest match to my interior colour. So that's what I've decided to do, and it looks actually pretty nice, so hopefully that works out. Also, you're going to need the clear as well. We're going to do a bit of a cheat. We're going to use a hairdryer, heat it up and do a heavy spray on the top clear coat to make it shiny. Okay, and you're also going to need a plastic primer. Now this one is also a filler as well, mainly because the store that I was at has sold out also on all sandpaper for the last month, which has made things a little bit difficult, which is why I've been putting it off, but they still don't have any for another 2 or so weeks. So I've got some that hopefully I can kind of work around with this, but generally you just get a plastic primer that's not filler if you can, if your plastics are in good condition. Okay. Also we've got some paint masking tape which is easily to peel off, because I'm going to mask off the center trim area, so it's just the outside edge and not the entire front vent. So this here has a cleaner line when you peel it off, so hopefully that works. If it doesn't, then I'll just have to paint the whole lot. I've also got a scalpel to actually remove that area, so we need some fine cutting areas and a sharp blade, so we'll be using this. It was about $9 at Super Auto Cheap, I think it's called. And since we're pulling off all the trim as well, this is going to be a 2-parter. So the first video will just be how to take off all the trim, because it's quite labour intensive, and then the second video will be actually painting, prep and paint. And to do that, I've noticed that the threads, if you remember my bolts from the centre console, are quite rusty, so I'm presuming the threads underneath are also. So I've got some liquid rust converter to put on, because spraying and the overspray in the interior is not something I want to do. So we've got some liquid versions. And also to help with the prep, we've got some isopropyl alcohol, something I can't say unless I read it. Okay, and that's to prep after we've wet sanded. We're using wet sanding because it's just better for a better finish in general. Okay, I've also got some super glue too, because I noticed when I took out my center vents when I was cleaning that one had a small crack in the clip, so I'm going to try and glue that rather than buy an entire new vent just for that. So hopefully that'll clear that up. Also got a mask for the fumes, and also a glove, which I'll probably end up not using, getting covered in paint. It's just what I do. I switch from left to right hand. I am left-handed, but occasionally I just switch to right just for convenience. Okay. Also what we're going to do is I've made up a new spray booth, just a very small portable one. So it's just basically a box, edges folded up, one cut down the edge here and then folded down, and some basically saran wrap for you Americans, or Reynolds wrap. We call it cling wrap in Australia, just so I can see what I'm doing over the top and to contain the overspray. That way I can fold it up and pack it up when I'm not using it. Okay, so that's basically it. And the next part of the video, and also while I remember, I'll be, once I've got the console out as too, it's a big job which I'm incredibly anxious about. I'll also be putting in this socket as well, so I'm just trying to get all the jobs done at once. There's just so much you've got to take out just to get into the interior there, for the console anyway, which I'll show you once we go outside. So that'll be the second part of this part 1 video. Alright guys, so that's it for now. So hopefully I'll get this done tomorrow. We'll see how I feel. Cheers. Okay guys, so today I'm going to attempt to remove this vent so we can paint this silver. Okay, and also remove this trim here, and we're going to paint that as well. It's supposed to be sunny today, but it's just gotten suddenly cloudy, so hopefully the light is enough. So first of all we need to take off this center panel to access the 2 screws under here, and then we'll move inside for prep and hopefully paint. Alright, so first of all we need a Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, now we just need to take this off. So in my last video you saw we could actually pull this off, so it's not really airbag specific, so I haven't disconnected the battery. So let's go ahead and do that first. Let's just check it's recording. So basically grab underneath and then pull away carefully. This time the clip here didn't come out, and hopefully we can stop that from pulling out. This is a hard one to reach, I can't quite pull in there. Just go grab a precision screwdriver for that one tick. So as you can see here, I just pushed it in underneath and then pulled the clip out, because otherwise it falls in underneath, and yeah, it's irretrievable then. So that's that one done. If you'll notice in my last video, just see if that's still recording, there was actually this one that fell off, which I could get back, so you've got to be really careful with these clips. Just push that back on there. Alright, so that's that one done. Next, this one's quite easy now, so we can just put our hand under here and then just pull it off this way carefully. Okay, that one's off. These clips have actually remained inside, which is good. Okay, so that one's done as well. Next we have the 2 Phillips head screws here, which we're going to remove the vent. Just make sure this is still recording. Okay, so here, 1 and 2 Phillips head. So go ahead and do that. This one will lead to a later date, even though it's quite scratched as well. There's only 2 screws here, but we actually have to move the whole console back, so I'm going to leave that as long as I can, because yeah, I'm just not looking forward to it, to be honest. And yeah, we'll do the gear knob shift as well, the surround there for that one a little bit later, as well as the steering wheel. That will require the battery to be disconnected. Okay, so basically next all you do is pull it out, so go ahead and do that. Okay, and then just remove. It doesn't have any clips or anything else holding it in, so we can pull it out. We'll do this actually on the kitchen table inside, because there's one of these here. You'll actually see this one's slightly cracked, so I'd actually like to glue this up before we put it back in. Alright, so that'll go inside, so that's that one done. We'll just disconnect these, I'll show you those in a tick. So we'll put that aside. So if you want to pull these off, these are actually quite simple. Okay, I'll just set up the camera a little bit better there so you can get a good view. I trimmed my fingernails the other night, so it's not going to help. Just use a flathead screwdriver. Yeah, let's just pinch and pull this flathead screwdriver and just push out underneath, and it just comes off quite easily. And when you go to put it back in as well, you'll notice that one of these clips is actually smaller than the other. This one's dimpled and these ones are quite large, so just remember when you put that back in, as it goes around, you've got the two large ones here and then the smaller one here, so it goes back in as such. Okay. So basically the same for the other side. Okay, here we are for the driver's side, so it's basically the same again. We're going to pinch and pull, try to get our finger underneath, and it should come away. We can actually get the trim tool in here for this one. This one's actually a bit tighter, so we'll get the smaller. Flathead screwdriver, precision screwdriver, so we'll just pull that away to get a gap, slide it under there. Sounds a little bit more difficult. I'll try the smaller one. You want to be careful not to scratch the plastic. It's actually kind of gooey, so I'll just wipe this down as well. So that's that one as well. And just remember again, this has the notch, okay? So two are larger and then one is smaller on this one. Just remember how that one goes again. I think that goes back this way. When we take it off, it's actually quite sticky, so this one needs a good wash. Alright, so we'll go take it inside now and prep for paint. I might try the handers while we're here. I'm feeling adventurous. Just give us one tick and I'll reset the camera. Try to take the door handers off here while I'm at it. Again, because it doesn't matter if the battery's on or off. It just basically covers. You can see mine here are actually quite scuffed up. Alright, so basically from what I've been told, we come in from here, pull it away slowly but surely, and there's a lip under here, so we just lift it up and then pull down. So let's just give that a try. I'll try to put the camera at a good angle. Let's give this a try. so it's popped out. That's recording again. Okay, so we've got that one out. Okay, it's a little bit more solid than I thought. It's a bit gooey too, so that's one done. We'll go do the left side. Okay, so same with this side again. Just check that that's in frame. Okay, again, coming in from underneath. Pull it out until it clicks. Okay, the little tabs, and then pull up and out. Be handy if I had two tools. There we go, it's popped. Careful there. Okay. Lift up and out. Nothing's broken. Should be okay. If all the tabs are okay. Okay, looks like success. There's a bit of a scratch in there, so I'm going to fix that up. Okay, so the stress of breaking anything is gone, so that's good. Looks like it's been taken off before. Not a problem. So yeah, we'll head inside now and get the prep and paint done. Alright, thanks guys. Okay, we're inside, so just to recap, we've got the door handles, we've got the vent trims, and this one here, which is black, is the center vent, and we need to disassemble this, which I'll show you in a tick. So for these, all we're going to do is give it a light scuff with the 1500. Okay, they've been chipped and whatnot, so yeah, that shouldn't be too hard. They're basically nice and flat surfaces. You can use a sanding block if you like, but it's not detrimental. You can see the overspray here, so we do need to clean this, so I'll go and give it a scrub with some dishwashing soap in the sink in a minute. Okay, and then some isopropyl alcohol. But I'll show you those steps in a tick. These are going to be a little bit more difficult because we've got little rounded edges in here, so you just got to be mindful of that. It shouldn't be too hard. Okay, and we need to disassemble this one carefully. Make sure it's recording. So I'm just going to use the flathead here just to lift it up slightly. We could actually use the trim tool, but yeah, so we're just going to push these out. Clips underneath. One out. These are quite fragile. You see this clip's actually broken. and so was this one, so we're going to super glue those. Just get the next one out. Okay, it's a bit of an effort, but they're both done. Okay, let's just move these to the side. They're not broken, they're in good condition. I've already cleaned these before previously. You can see here too, it's basically all Subaru products, which is kind of nice. You can catch that. This has been slightly cracked previously, so this is the part that I want to paint to match this silver colour. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do is use this paint masking tape for pinstriping basically, and we're going to mask off the centre. You can see here, I don't want to paint this, but if you notice, I'm not sure if that's picking up, it's actually got a nice texture to it, so I'm not going to sand that down. I'm just going to prep it and clean it and see if I can keep that texture, because it's kind of nice and it matches the rest of the dashboard, and I don't really want to lose the little patterns here showing the on and off on the vent as well. So basically we've got to be very careful. I've got scalpels here as well, and maybe I'm going to use a toothpick just to push it in. We'll see how we go, just to mask that off, but first of all we've just got to clean it and then super glue these, just for peace of mind. So we'll get onto that next. Okay, I've just got some super glue and a couple of toothpicks here just to push into the corners of the vent with the masking tape, but I might just wash these first so they're dry, so I'm not doing it with super glue, so it gives it time to dry. So we'll just go over to the sink and give them a good clean set. Make sure everything's clean, because we don't want any kind of grease on there, even though we're going to use some alcohol based cleaner. Okay, so as I mentioned, this piece doesn't need sanding, okay, but it does have some wet spots, so I'll probably let it dry overnight and do the rest tomorrow, but today we're going to, again, just glue the clips that are broken. So yeah, this one here, and I think this one down here, and just let that set overnight. Okay, but what we will do today is sand these ones, because they do need a bit of a sanding, so just go ahead and do that. Sorry, I need to, my eyes aren't doing so good there, but yeah, you can tell. We'll just let that dry overnight just to make sure that it's bonded well. Usually it's really good with plastics. Okay, so we won't be putting pressure on that, but I will mask it up today, ready for tomorrow. So we'll go ahead and do that, but first of all, we'll just sand the other pieces. So we'll need a pair of scissors, obviously wet sand, so we're going to need just a bit of water to dip it in and keep it wet as we're going along, obviously. So one moment. Okay, so next we're just basically going to use some 1500. Okay, it just needs a light scuff. This is, as I said before, even the Scotch-Brite just rubbed the paint off, so it was just, yeah, it was basically non-existent anyway. Alright, so there's no real deep scratches on this, so it doesn't need any kind of minor sanding, or major sanding, sorry. So yeah, we'll just give this a once over, just around the edges, just down to here. And the overspray doesn't matter because, yeah, all of this is hidden, so we want to go through here as well, just to finish it off nice, and any burrs that might be there, but I can't really tell. Okay, So yeah, we'll just get to it. I'm going to go radio silent, listen to a podcast while we do this. Okay, it's been quite a few days actually. I'm just waiting for the weather to get nice, which will probably be tomorrow, hopefully. The camera ran out as I was filming the sanding. So just to recap, I think I was using 1500, and you can see here they've been sanded down. I won't prep these till tomorrow. Okay, we're going to use some isopropyl alcohol. So these, I might have sanded them with, I think it was 1500 grit. That might be too fine. But this is the first time I'm using this type of paint, so I'm not really sure how it'll turn out. So they'll kind of be test subjects. These are where the scratches were, but they've come out really well. So hopefully with the good prep, it'll turn out decent. I won't be blocking or anything like that. Yeah, we'll just see how we go. So those turned out well. Here we have the vent rings. They're a little bit longer to sand, obviously. There's some curves in there, but we got most of it also inside the rings. So they look pretty good too. So all I'll be doing today is basically, this is taking a little bit more prep obviously, because I have to use this painter's masking tape. So that's what we're going to do today, ready for tomorrow. So I really don't want to paint the whole thing as a block. It's just too much silver. But I'm hoping to just get the edges, like some custom trim rings I've seen. I just think that'll look a little bit nicer and just flow with the console as it goes up towards the car. So I'm just going to prep this today and yeah, try to mask it off and see how we go. And if it's sunny tomorrow, we'll get it all done and I'll film that as well. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay guys, it took a little bit, but there we go, it's all masked off. I don't know how it's going to turn out. It's the first time again that I've been using this type of masking tape, and it'll also be the first time in 20 years that I've been using this type of primer, so I'm not quite sure how it'll all pan out, but so far it's looking pretty good. So hopefully tomorrow, if the sun's out, we'll paint all this stuff and I'll show you how it goes. Thanks guys, appreciate it. Okay guys, just a quick tip that I've learnt. I'm just about to spray these. I've just been prepping with the isopropyl alcohol. It's very hard to get this little beveled edge here, and to get the tape to sit down, just cut a toothpick in half and then use the flat edge just to run it across. Alright guys, after this I'll start spraying. Cheers. Okay, so first of all I'm just going to heat up the plastic a little bit for better adhesion. It's quite chilly today, it's about 13 degrees, which is not good, so get this speedy, expedited. The battery's running out. First is the plastic and fiberglass primer. Okay. Okay, so next, luckily the sun just came out, we're doing the base coat, which is the silver. This is the number if you're in Australia. Okay, this is the 2013 BRZ colour. Okay, so I'll just do a couple of sprays and then turn off the battery, it's about to go. Alright, so here we go. Okay, so next to the rings, I've put some masking tape on here just to raise it up above the ground a little bit more so I can get some access to the edges and to pick them up. Okay, so let's start those. Okay, so just the handles to go now. I've had to just mask them up just to get some extra coverage there so they don't touch. Just around on the corners here. So this is the last of the ones I've got to paint silver, and then we'll start with the top coat. Alright. Okay, so this is the silver done. It's the sterling silver, I think, from what I can remember. It'll be in the intro anyway. And I think this is where the factory stopped here. They just sprayed it and then left. But what we're going to do next is the clear coat, and then we'll be done. And I'll let it cure for a couple of days, and on the next warm day I'll put it all in. And you'll see what it looks like, but I'm quite happy with that. It's got a really nice sparkle to it. So if it's not close to what cabin was originally silver, well, I'm happy with this. It's got a nice sparkle to it. I've left it textured too, so it matches these ones here, which also matches the dash and the outside of the handles as well. But yeah, they came out really, really well, if I do say so myself. Alright guys, so on to the next step. Okay, so last but not least, we have the acrylic clear. Okay, I'll give it a little bit heavier than necessary coat and then instantly dry it off with the hairdryer there, and hopefully that'll make it look a little bit nicer and give that wet look that I'm after. Alright guys, I'll just set it up and here we go. Apologise for the light, it's getting dark now. Okay, next the outer vents. guys, and these are the last ones to clear coat. Okay, the handles, they turned out really well. It's getting a bit blustery now, so I want to wrap this up as quick as I can. Alright, and I'll show you when they're all done. The others are inside now curing. But yeah, let's get this started. Cheers. Okay guys, and that's the finished product, and I've put a thicker coat of the top clear on so it has what we call the orange peel. I'm not going to block or sand it because I want it to be dimpled and reflect the texture that this naturally has as well, which is inset into the plastic where it's actually smoother on these. So yeah, it really shines and it looks really good now. It's nice to have anything here non-scratched. So I'll let this cure for a day or so and wait for the next sunny day and put it in, and I'll update you then. Thanks guys.